Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ceremony. Today, in keeping with one of the older traditions of military service, the men and women of 87th Force Support Squadron pay special tribute to Senior Master Sergeant Chad Vaden on the occasion of his retirement from active duty after 23 years of faithful service. I am your narrator, Master Sergeant Stephen Naylor. Throughout today's ceremony, you'll be given various cues to stand and be seated at the appropriate times. As a reminder, during the national anthem, all military members must stand at the position of attention, and a civilian guest should place their right hand over their heart. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the posting of the colors.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chaplain Stonemoser, and I would invite you to join me in prayer. Almighty God, first and foremost, thank you for another day of life. Thank you allowing us to gather for this occasion to celebrate the exemplary career and service displayed by Senior Master Sergeant Chad Vaden. He has served this nation with excellence. May we honor him today in the same fashion, with excellence. God, we pray for blessings for Chad and Betty and all their future endeavors. We pray blessings upon the entire Vaden family, both near and far. Bless all those in charge of running today's ceremony. Grant traveling mercies to all in attendance here today. Provide Chad and Betty with wisdom and love, so that this transition from the military will always be looked upon with gladness in their hearts. God, we pray this in your mighty name. Amen.
Thank you, Captain Stonemoser. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. We're honored to have in attendance with us several distinguished guests attending today's ceremony. The presiding officer, the Chief of Weapons Capability Development, Air Force Futures, Headquarters, United States Air Force, Colonel Robert LaMontagne, and his spouse, Ona. Our honoree, Development Advisor for Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst, Senior Master Sergeant Vaden, and his lovely spouse, Betty. Senior Vaden also has many family members in attendance: his brother Curtis Vaden and his sister-in-law Yasmin Hahn, the great and powerful Shuku, and his niece Vivienne, his sister Tracy O'Sullivan and nephew Connor, his mother-in-law and earth angel Neela Ermi, his sister-in-law Yvonne Ermi, and niece Kirsten, his brother from another mother Mario Jaramillo, and the mother of another brother Gloria Jaramillo. And finally, his brother-in-arms, Aaron Withrow, and Aaron's all-star son, EJ, his brother, Sean Dye, and his faithful, loving dog, Chief. The installation commander, Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst and 87th Air Base Wing, Colonel Anthony L. Smith. Command Chief, 87th Air Base Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Michael Wynn, and his wife, Miss Andrea Wynn. We'd also like to honorably mention the members of the family unable to be with us today: his mother, Simi Vaden, his aunt, Cami Brand, his uncle, Abel Brand, and his aunt, Annie Allardyce, his nephew, Craig O'Sullivan, who just enlisted in the Army, and last but not least, his stepdaughter, Sierra Walton. We also extend a warm welcome to all commanders, senior enlisted leaders, first sergeants, brothers and sisters in arms, our Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst partners, and guests from our local community who joined us today. Thank you for attending. It's now my pleasure to welcome the presiding officer of today's ceremony, Colonel LaMontagne.
Good afternoon. Thanks all for having me here today. Before we start, let's give another round of applause to the chaplain, the color guard, and wonderful MC, Sergeant Lang, and all those who put this together. Thanks. So, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and members of the Air Force family, puppies, today we gather to honor the incredible career of Senior Master Sergeant Chad Vaden. Charismatic leader, devoted mentor, a trusted wingman who has left an indelible mark on everyone fortunate enough to know him. After 23 years of dedicated service to our nation, Chad is hanging up his uniform, but his legacy will live on in the countless lives he's touched. Before we go any further, I'd like to acknowledge someone who's been at Chad's side through this remarkable journey, his wife, Betty. Betty, your steadfast love and support have been a centering force for Chad, allowing him to achieve so much while serving our country. You've also been a tremendous part of the Air Force family, and we thank you for everything you've given us. Chad's Air Force story started in 2002 when he joined as an avionics system specialist. It was clear from the start that Chad was a natural leader, someone who elevated those around him. Through his relentless drive, attention to detail, and infectious energy, he even used adversity to raise the bar for himself and others. Over his career, he served as some of the Air Force's most coveted garden spots, like Cannon and Edwards, as well as some of the more exotic locations like Osan and Spangdahlem. He's one of the few who have escaped the gravity well of Offutt, and evidently, he's ultimately landed here at Joint Base Support. Along the way, he's deployed twice, once to Iraq for 6 months, and another 9-month tour to Al Udeid in Qatar. He's supported maintainers in various roles, from work in the line, in avionics and electronic warfare, to the very sexy job of running the tool crib. Everywhere he went, he's turned lemons into delicious lemonade, and those around him have thrived because of it. He's been an expediter, a quality assurance inspector, an operations section chief, a superintendent, a flight chief, and ultimately a world-class development advisor to senior NCOs of all flavors. No matter the role, he's consistently exemplified what it means to be a trusted leader. One of Chad's crowning professional achievements, of course, was serving as a hiring manager for a $50 billion classified program that became a place where the world's greatest airmen gathered behind the green door to develop exquisite capabilities for the coming high-end fight. This was a role where attention to detail and trustworthiness were paramount. Sending the right people to the program required Chad's unerring judgment and his dedication to finding and fostering the best talent, and then duping them into accepting the job offer, blind to what was in store. Chad's passion for mentorship is unparalleled. Over the years, he spent more than 300 hours mentoring airmen, guiding 9 commissioning packages and 56 retraining applications. Chad isn't just a mentor, he's a cultivator of dreams. He has an incredible knack for seeing potential in others and helping them. His commitment to service has extended to every corner of his life. He volunteered tirelessly, whether that was repairing a high school in Bulgaria, performing musical entertainment during the holidays parties, spending hundreds of hours at the VA hospital, raising $26,000 to support military families impacted by suicide, or leading the tragedy assistance program for survivors. As the national event lead for TAPS, Chad spent nearly a year planning an event that supported 262 families of fallen heroes, a Herculean effort to coordinate 50 mentors and ensure every detail was perfect. Chad's positivity and gratitude are constants in his life. Growing up in Connecticut and attending an all-boys boarding school in Maine, Chad learned to appreciate opportunities and embrace challenges. He was always approached life with a sense of humility and thankfulness. Whether jumping into self-improvement with personal certifications and project management, to striving to lead with the principles he admired in the book, Turn the Ship Around. Chad has always aimed to leave things better than he found them. His leadership style has always been about lifting others up, creating opportunities, and leaving a lasting positive culture wherever he served. Chad's the kind of person you want in your corner. He's a legendary wingman, both figuratively and literally. He's always striving to level up his thinking from checkers to chess. He's a critical thinker who doesn't just solve problems, he anticipates them and creates solutions that endure. Aaron Withrow, in the audience today, shared a story with me about tech school. When Chad stepped into diffuse a tense situations with a Texas cowboy. Waiting for the stories to sink in. Despite Chad's best intentions, he ended up taking one for the team as the cowboy smashed him and his friends' heads together. It wasn't the outcome anyone had hoped for, but it speaks volumes about Chad's instincts to step up and support others. And then, of course, there was the Red Hot Chili Peppers concert. Chad, clearly Chad's favorite band of all time. When one of his friends had a little bit too much to drink, Chad stayed back in the lawn seats with him, letting the others sneak to the front row. Chad sacrificed his chance to see his favorite band up close, all to make sure his buddy was doing okay. And what did his friends do to repay him? They bought him a burger secretly laced with a caffeine pill, ensuring that Chad wouldn't sleep a wink all night. That's just Chad, always pulling others first and taking life's curveballs in stride.
A laced burger.
Maybe he still didn't know until that I just revealed this to you now. All right. Chad's humor and energy are infectious. I think everyone here can attest, right? Our mutual friend Papa, I recall a morning run during PT when Chad, noticing his struggle, broke out his best Biggie Smalls impression to keep Popeye laughing all the way home to the finish line. Chad's humor and encouragement turned a grueling run into a moment of joy and camaraderie. Just an example of him being him. Funny, generous, and always looking out for others. And of course, I can't forget to point out his infamous pepper grinder gesture. Whenever Chad gets nervous during conversations, he starts twisting his hands like he was grinding pepper. Naturally, this earned him the nickname Grinder. At least that's the clean version. It's a small thing, but it's so quintessentially Chad, authentic, humble, and completely unpretentious. Chad isn't just a colleague of mine, he's a friend who's been there for so many of us. I'll never forget the late nights we spent together trilling over performance reports and award packages for our squadron members. Chad's commitment to recognizing and uplifting others was unshakable. And those long nights are some of my favorite memories of our time together. He's someone who leaves an impression on families too. Andy Tidgwell shared how Chad's healthy lifestyle left an unexpected legacy. One day, Chad suggested that Andy try kombucha for its health benefits. And Andy gave it a shot, and he liked it so much he started keeping kombucha around the house. Soon, Andy's daughters became kombucha fans too. And now, years later, at the age of 10 and 7, they're still hooked. And so Andy credits Chad for not just improving his health, but for helping his kids start life with a gut biome advantage. Personally, I remember the times that Chad spent with my family, especially how he jumped on the trampoline with my kids, inspiring them to learn backflips. To this day, they talk about Mr. Chad and his tireless enthusiasm. Even my dog, Watson, still misses his jog's chief. Betty and Chad, hopefully you're taking another vacation soon so we can dog sit for you while you're gone. By the way, I think everybody can agree with me. Isn't it cool that Chief came to watch? That's awesome. Chad's legacy is one of relentless positivity, service, and excellence. As he begins his terminal leave in February, it's hard to imagine the Air Force without him. His positive presence, boundless energy, and unwavering dedication will be sorely missed. And while December 6th may not go down in history like December 7th, it will forever be remembered by those who are here today as the day we bid farewell to one of the Air Force's finest. Chad, thank you for your service, your friendship, and the example you set for all of us. We wish you and Betty nothing but the best in the next chapter of your journey. While we miss you in uniform, we know that the best is just beginning of a new chapter where you'll continue to inspire, lead, and make a difference. Over 23 years of projecting positivity into our world, you've certainly left the Air Force a better place, and for that, we are forever grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Colonel Lamontagne. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of the Meritorious Service Medal. Attention orders. This is certified that the Meritorious Service Medal has been awarded to Senior Master Sergeant Chad J. Vaden, Senior Master Sergeant Chad Vaden distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Development Advisor, 87th Force Support Squadron, 87th Mission Support Group, 87th Air Base Wing, Joint Base McGuire-Dick Lakehurst, New Jersey, from 15 May 2022 to 30 April 2025. During this period, he optimized the professional development portfolio to enhance 5,100 members' performance. He oversaw the first term enlisted center and coached teams to cultivate 1,600 hours of holistic curriculum delivered to 822 personnel. Additionally, Senior Vaden led multifunctional teams to optimize the tier development program, to educate 4,000 airmen 18 months ahead of the Air Force-wide mandate that increased doctrine awareness and mission readiness capabilities at scope and scale. Moreover, he was selected by the squadron commander to fill a vacant senior leader billet for 12 weeks, where he oversaw 11 flights and 798 personnel provide cradle-to-grave services for 48,000 tri-state area customers. Finally, as the installation's talent management linchpin, he delivered 48 hours of career advancement education and coached 297 airmen, which culminated in increased re-enlistment rates across 80 career fields. The singularly distinctive accomplishment of Senior Master Sergeant Chad Vaden culminated a distinguished career in the service of his country and reflect great credit upon himself, the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the publishing of the retirement order.
Publish the order.
Pension orders. Department of the Air Force, Washington, D.C., Special Order Number AC 15429, dated 10 May 2024, effective 30 April 2025, relieved from active duty, 87th Force Support Squadron, Joint Base McGuire-Dick Lakehurst, retired effective 1 May 2025, for Air Force Instruction 3623-3203, in the grade of Senior Master Sergeant. Proceed to Homeland Selection by the order of Secretary of the Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Senior Vaden will now be presented with his retirement certificate from the Chief of Staff and certificate of appreciation from the Commander-in-Chief. Certificate of retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. To all who shall see this presents greeting. This is to certify that Senior Master Sergeant Chad J. Vaden, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Air Force on the first day of May 2025. Signed, General David W. Alvin, Chief of Staff. Certificate of Appreciation for Service in the Armed Forces of the United States of America, Senior Master Sergeant Chad J. Vaden. I extend my personal gratitude and sincere appreciation of a grateful nation to you and your patriotic service to our country. Your bravery and dedication to armed forces helped protect your fellow Americans during a critical moment in our history and contributed to a world of greater security and growing prosperity. Your devotion to duty, honor, and country, in keeping with the long traditions of the finest military in the world, embodied the American ideal of selfless service. Our nation owes you an incredible debt. Your commitment and example you set will inspire future generations to serve with pride and to keep our country secure. You represent the best of our nation, and I join our fellow Americans in saluting your honorable service. I wish you happiness and success in your next chapter. Signed, Joseph R. Biden, Commander-in-Chief. Senior Vaden also receiving a certificate of appreciation from the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. It reads, I am proud to join your friends and family and congratulate you on your retirement from the United States Air Force. The achievements and contributions, your retirement is well deserved, but your selfless contributions will be sorely missed. On behalf of all airmen, thank you for your faithful and devoted service to our nation. As this chapter in your life closes, a new one begins. I hope the years ahead are filled with more great memories and continued success. Signed, Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, David A. Flosi. Ms. Vaden, would you please come on stage? We ask that you place this pin on Senior Vaden's lapel to symbolize his transition from active duty to retired status. In the future, each time Senior Vaden wears his uniform or his business attire, this pin will serve to remind all that he has served faithfully and has earned his retirement. The pin indicates he is still a member of the Air Force but now serves in retired status. Senior Master Sergeant Vaden, please wear this pin proudly on any occasion in which you may represent the Air Force. Ms. Vaden will now be presented with a certificate of appreciation from the Chief of Staff. In grateful appreciation, the United States Air Force presents a certificate of recognition to Betty Vaden for the commitment and numerous contributions that made positive impacts to the nation's defense. Thank you for the support, which gave the strength and purpose to your spouse's service. Given the first day of May 2025, signed, General David W. Alvin, Chief of Staff. Vaden will also receive a letter of appreciation from the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force on behalf of all Air Force airmen and their families. Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force presents a certificate of appreciation to Betty E. Vaden. I join your spouse, family, and friends and thank you for the numerous contributions and sacrifices you made in support of the United States Air Force. Your dedication gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service and defense of our nation. Signed, Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, David A. Flosi. Thank you, Betty. You may return to your chair. At this time, we're going to do presentations of the gift. And I'm going to present a memento on behalf of myself, of working with Chad and being part of the top three and dealing with them. It's all positive. Service for 87 FSS, May 2022 to April 2024. The men and women of the Joint Base Guard and Lakers, thank you for your service, wisdom, and mentorship. Wish you the best in your time. This one, it's really special for me to get something on behalf of myself. It has his full 23 years of service dates, and I believe that he deserves a samurai sword for his solid 23 years of faithful service. So when I first met him, he didn't pull any punches for like the top three when I was vice president over 2 years ago. We asked him to do a financial audit. I did not know Chad at the time, and he ripped it apart, gave us honest feedback, so we learned from it, built upon it. But just the fact that he gave the honest feedback was something that we needed. And I always respect people that do that. And as a fellow maintainer, I'm sure you do as well. And with me working with him and spending time with his family over the last 2 years, I'm an unaccompanied senior NCO, often forgotten about demographic. So So I get invited to Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween events. So he does that checking up that nobody else does. And I really appreciate it. So it goes to show that like even people in senior leader spots that don't have any family definitely be taken care of, and he showed that. And the samurai sword represents the art of the Bushido and the 7 virtues, which is integrity, respect, heroic courage, honor, compassion, honesty and sincerity, and duty and loyalty. And I have seen this on every occasion from him, like answering phone calls when I'm in his office, anybody walking in asking for help, and he'd do it. And he'd get the shirt off his back in a moment. And he enforces the standards. I've seen him do it in person and take heroic courage in this day and age when a lot of leaders aren't doing it. And the duty and loyalty to Betty, the family, I see it as well as he's welcomed me into the family as well. So I present these two to him. I hope you enjoy them. Be careful with it, it's very sharp. While you're in retirement, you became a Highlander.
Yeah, 24 fingers. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Ms. Malesh, will you please come forward for the presentation on behalf of FSD Flight?
Mama Malesh.
Bugging me. Thanks, Mom. You gotta talk to him. Yeah, just tell me she loved me. Thank you so much. Thanks, Mom.
Thank you, Malesh.
We actually did come and love me. I just made that up.
You take your seat.
No, wait, don't go there.
Oh, okay, one more.
Audible. Cheap went on. I'll use the mic too, because that's better. So I get the pleasure of hiring, developmental advisors and putting people in positions that I think are going to do great for our installation. And Chad has knocked it out of the park as developmental advisor for JBMDL. When he first started, honestly, I was like, dude, slow down, because he came in with idea after idea after idea, and I'm like, Chad, just pick one, let's do that thing, and then let's pick another one, let's do that thing. But it was always about taking care of the people. It was always about growing folks and making them better, which is what we need out of our developmental advisor, right? Like a leader for an entire junior enlisted corps and senior enlisted corps. And you crushed it, brother. In fact, he didn't stop there. He also made me better. Chad helped me get my PMP. Like, I would have never even thought about it. I talked about it, but I was like, yeah. He sat down one day, here's the books, here's some videos you need to watch, here's the thing, we got the thing coming, sign up, do the cool stuff, and I did it, and here I am, like, successful, because this guy also poured into me, right, command chief on the installation. Because it was agnostic of the rank and the grade or where you're at. It was about taking care of the folks and doing what they needed to do. So on behalf of myself, Colonel Smith, and Andrea, we definitely want to thank you and Betty for your years of service. I wish you all nothing but the best, but I did want to give you one of these cool coins before you left, because you deserve it.
About time you took your seat. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now offer a tribute to Senior Vaden and the flag United States of America. Please remain seated and draw your attention to our retirement ceremony flag detail as they bring forward our nation's flag. For more than 200 years, the American flag has been the symbol of our nation's unity, as well as a source of pride and inspiration for millions of citizens. Born on June 14, 1777, the Second Continental Congress determined that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes, alternating between 7 red and 6 white, and that the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field representing a new constellation. Between 1777 and 1960, the shape and design of the flag involved in the flag presented before you today. The 13 horizontal stripes represent the original 13 colonies, while the stars represent the 50 states of the Union. The colors of the flag are symbolic as well. Red symbolizes hardiness and valor, both at home and abroad. In 1814, Francis Scott Key was so moved at seeing the stars and stripes waving after the British shelling of Baltimore's Fort McHenry that he wrote the words of the Star-Spangled Banner. In 1892, the flag inspired Francis Bellamy to write the Pledge of Allegiance, our most famous salute and patriotic oath. In July 1969, the American flag was flown in space when Neil Armstrong landed on the surface of the moon. Today, our flag flies on constellations of Air Force satellites that circle our globe, and on the thin flash of our aircraft in harm's way, every corner of the world. Indeed, it flies in the heart of every airman who serves our great nation, and the sun never sets on our U.S. Air Force, nor on the flag we so proudly cherish. Since 1776, no generation of Americans has been spared the responsibility of defending freedom. Today's airmen remain committed to preserving the freedom that others won for us for generations to come. By displaying the flag and giving it a distinctive fold, we show respect to the flag and express our gratitude to those individuals who fought and continue to fight for freedom at home and abroad. Since the dawn of the 20th century, airmen have proudly flown the flag in every major conflict on lands and skies around the world. It is their responsibility, our responsibility, to continue to protect, preserve the rights, privilege, and freedoms that we as Americans enjoy today. The United States flag represents who we are. It stands for the freedom we all share and the pride and patriotism we feel for our country. We cherish its legacy as a beacon of hope to one, and all long may it wave. Ladies and gentlemen, I now present to you Senior Master Sergeant, retired Chad Vaden.
I gotta tell you, like, that, don't even count that last year in your, whatever you got, that last year is a complete flash. It just goes by like, boom. So, y'all, I'm sure you heard it before, but I'm gonna warn you again. That last one is, whew. First, I'd like to thank the chaplain for the beautiful prayers. My wife and I could definitely appreciate that, and our family appreciates that. Thank you. Thank you to Honor Guard for coming out and from their professionalism, and just, I'm so proud of those airmen just representing our Air Force. I'm trying not to cry. My wife wants me to cry, but I won't. I don't think. I'd like to thank our event team, Senior Master Sergeant Lang, your new development advisor, who just raised the bar so much higher than where it was before. Thank you so much for your help. I'm grateful to you. I appreciate you. Master Sergeant Hicks, hopefully soon to be Senior Master Sergeant Hicks, who you all know him, you all love him. He's everywhere doing all the things. Thank you so much. And Malesh, thank you so much for all you've poured into me. I'm grateful for you. I'd like to thank our leadership team, Charles Smith and Chief Wynn, giving me so much leeway to just take the challenge of how are we gonna optimize this Air Force and make the changes that we need to do. Like, really you supported us where we needed it and gave us the things we needed to do. And to be honest with you, like from every development foundations course that people are going through, you can see that spark. It's starting to catch up, and good things are happening. Especially here at JBMDL with Chief Ochoa and the 23rd Cabs, you know, there's a lot of good things happening here. So thank you for that. The true rock stars of, you know, that's been carrying me pretty much, making me look good, is the cadre, without a doubt. You all know your leadership teams, they send the best to me, so, you know, I get to cherry pick all the best on the base, and I'm gonna list them off for you right now. So we have Sergeant Dennis, Staff Sergeant Dennis, Master Sergeant Rich, Staff Sergeant Coffey, Tech Sergeant Trainer, Tech Sergeant Sutherland, Tech Sergeant Reyes, Staff Sergeant Hoyer, Staff Sergeant Daniels, and Staff Sergeant Gamble, who's currently downrange right now. So let's give it up for Sergeant Gamble, who's downrange with all of our other brothers and sisters doing the deal downrange. It's been a blessing to be around these individuals. I mean, they are really like, it's kind of like, I used to describe them like dogs, like, but that's not a good thing. But they're like wild dogs with me. Like, they just get on it. Any kind of task, or they just jump on it. But I think a better way to say it is kind of like sharks in the water. Like, you know, you're just chumming that water, and it's just like, they just pop in, just want to do for tasks, and from everywhere from getting the education center set up, or building curriculum, or recruiting other people, just being that example of what, you know, what right looks like and where we need to go, like in a hurry. They've been all those things, so thank y'all. You know, I feel emotional talking about y'all because y'all have really been doing it, so let's give it up for them. The true heartbeat on this base, the supporting agencies, the MFRC, you know, MFRC, the Education Center, hiring our heroes, the VA benefit advisors, the Air National Guard and Reserve in-service recruiters that are making people's dreams come true. Top 3, the SELs, First Sergeants Council, the ALS cadre, and AFSA. I mean, without them, they're pretty much, they're making the things go down. I also want to give a big shout out to the spouses of JBMDL too, where you don't really get to see all the things that they're doing, but you just get to, you know, you reap the benefits.
You got it, baby.
Hiya! Of all the things that they're doing. So, scholarships, all those things, it's all that. All right, I always knew Colonel Lamontagne was gonna be my officiator. You know, he's gonna officiate. You just know, once you work with that person, you just know. And, you know, him and Hannah and their kids jumping on the trampoline, you know, playing with Chief. She's psyched. You know, I really like you when he talked about checkers and chess before. Like, he taught me chess. Turn the ship around. A lot of people in this room, I've given that book to. It all started with him, you know, and within it, he wrote. I'm kind of getting off script right now. Let me get back on. That'll probably save me. So he wrote in the book, in my experience, the best leaders have been those who adapted their style to the intended audience. The style described in this book may seem familiar and is perhaps most effective when the audience is highly knowledgeable yet underutilized. Together we can make Debt 2 a well-oiled machine that operates smoothly long after our departures. And that's what it's all about. You know, the legacy is you know, how are these programs working when you're gone, you know? And hopefully that's our goal. You know, we're just, what kind of stain am I leaving behind? A good stain. Stain's probably not a good word for that, but what are the good things you're leaving behind? A good stain. All right, like I said, I must have bought that book 35 times and given it out. But what I really love it is that the Air Force Doctrine Publication 1-1, the Mission Command, that just recently came out in 2023. It really ties all that stuff in. So understanding commander's intent, and then from there, what are we going to do? So we got mission command principles or provide clear commander's intent. So I look at it like this: instead of being motivated by what the board is looking for, what are our wing commanders looking for? How do we take care of things on the installation? You don't look to solve world hunger by you just look to how you're gonna feed your neighbors. So like on the installation, what does the wing commander need? That's clear intent. Then how do we provide that vision to everybody else? So that when we got disciplined initiative, people are just getting after it because they know this is gonna make JBMDL better, right? So don't forget that stuff. Return the ship around 1-1. I know we just jam it down everyone's faces and foundations, but people love it. They eat it up. So keep doing that, please. I ask when I'm gone. And I'll tell you how I plan to serve after I retire. I'll have my Air Force retiree hat with all the pins on it, all the flair, and when I'm walking around the BX or the commissary, I'm not going to be looking at people and saying, huffing under my breath, this is what we did when I was in, or this or that. Standards, I'll let you all take care of the standards. But I'm going to go around and I'm going to encourage all of them for serving, for what they're doing. Say thank you. Is there anything I can do for you? If I see them at a restaurant, I plan to pick up their tab, like so many have done for us when we were coming up after 9/11. So, again, continue to serve. How do I help vets? How do I encourage those that are still serving? There's holiday cards in the front. If you get a chance to check them out, it's just from the kids, saying how proud they are of all of us for what we're doing. Don't forget, we may get kind of like desensitized about the things that we're doing, but there's kids out there that are so proud of the things that we're doing to keep this country safe. I look out in this crowd, I see my niece, my nephews, people I love, and you all have family. They're dependent on us to do the things to keep this country safe, right? So be proud of that. Not crying yet, just sounds like it. And then my good friend Aaron Witho's in the crowd. We came in on the same exact day, April 9, 2002. And we went to EP together, electronic principles together, tech school together. We were at the first base together, the second base together, the third base together, and eventually, we were pretty much mill to mill. And then, when I was at Det 2 with Colonel LaMontagne, we had the opportunity to hire him because he was always the smartest one. In tech school, I was like, damn, how the hell do you know all this stuff, man? It's like, I was struggling. He was just like, bing, 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 it's easy, and I'm like, so he was always that high standard, and he didn't have a retirement ceremony, but, even though he's younger than me, he's mentored, he's a lot younger than me. He's been my mentor. He's striving and striving. I know one time we were working on an F-16 and the expediter kept driving by, kind of rushing us, and he said, you want it done right or do you want it done right now? And that term stayed in my head because that's the truth. It's like, if you want it done right, if you're gonna do something, do it right. Don't sit around and mess around and get it out quick. So Thanks for everything. I love you, brother. We got Sean Dye back there, who I was in quality assurance with. We had the best times at Offutt Air Force Base. I made it out of Offutt, but it was the laughter that we got to share while we were in QA and busting people, right? Busting those maintainers. We turn on them. All right, and I'll make this quick. So to wrap this up, I just want to close with, we are authors of our stories, right? We're writing our memoirs right now. People expect when they get to that military chapter for the cool stuff to be in there, right? They want to hear about like the challenges that you overcame, the adversities, the cool times, the crazy times, the times you should have got in trouble but you got away with it, or whatever it is, the things that you did. So I ask you to look for the hard things. Say yes, raise your hand to do the hard things, the things that challenge you. Because the more you challenge yourself, the more you're going to unlock that potential of who you are, right? My potential is I'm so grateful to the Air Force. Like I realized how badass I am because of the challenges that you've given me. You let me do them, you know. So I ask you to keep challenging yourself, and just remember on December 6, 1941, or September 10th, 2001, people didn't realize how the next day was going to change them, right? So keep in mind, we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring us, but we got to be ready, right? As Cabs, I know we're gonna be ready. The things that Chief Ochoa was doing, and Colonel Smith, and Chief Wynn, and all the other leadership has, you know, I know we're gonna be ready. Just stay proud, stay strong. Thank you for all the support you've given me, and I love you all. Yep. Thank you. We got some flowers to give out too, and then we're done. First, well, before the flowers, Chief, you know, my dog Chief has been through so much with me. She's got cancer right now. She's not doing so well, but so many hours we traveled together, and I used to be a single senior NCO, and I know what it's like. It's hard, and she was family before I really had my family. So I just want to give a shout out to Chief for making life awesome. All right. And we got Gloria Jaramillo right here. When I talk about the brother of another mother, so that's Mario, my best friend. We've known each other since 13. But Gloria came here from Colombia with her sister and worked her ass off to start up a business and become super, like she's got a really, really nice spa in Greenwich, Connecticut. She worked hard, and she's got a strong faith in God. And she's always giving to people and loving people. And I was a troublemaker. I was a bad kid. And she let me hang out with Mario, even though she knew I was a bad kid. But she always fed me, took care of me, pretty much raised me. So I love you, Gloria. I'm so glad you can be here. I love you, Mario. Thank you. Next, we got mom-in-law, Neela. Stand up. Right here? Okay. So here's, just like Gloria, she's the center of gravity. The whole family just is right around her because she's filled with love and strength. And although she may be quiet, when she speaks, she has really awesome things to say. And I'm just so happy to be a part of your family. Thanks for the love and being so gracious with everything. I love you. Thanks, Mom. And then, lastly, and most importantly, all the strength that I get in my life comes from Betty. It's like, I challenge myself to try and make her proud. You know, she left California, she left her big, beautiful family in California, moved out here, and she didn't know anybody. And she just jumped right into the community, and like, if you got kids out here, chances are good that she probably painted their face. She got involved with the Key Spouse, right? She was on the Key Spouse, working with the leadership team at FSS, just jumping in and doing that. And then with the great mentorship from Andrea and the rest of the folks at the spouses at JBMDL, she jumped in there to see what she can do to make this community better. Again, you don't see all these things. You don't realize all this awesomeness that's happening for you. It's people like this that are doing it. And you know, she won all these awesome awards. I never won a wing award. She won twice. You know, I was like, yeah, that's pretty good, I guess. We can hang it up. But I love you so much, sweetheart. I can't wait for the future because I already won the Powerball. I got you. I think life is good. So thank you so much. Thank you.
ceremony culminating Senior Vaden's distinguished Air Force career. The Vadens invite you to join them for reception in his honor at the Stratosphere Brewery in Mount Holly at 1700 to wish him and his family a fond farewell. This concludes the ceremony. Thank you all for attending.
Well, you did? We'll be back.
Oh, that one. Was holding him back. Oh, so amazing.
The great, powerful Shuku, of course. Yeah. I'll see you next week. I'm teaching next week. Nice. Yeah.
All right, take care.
Absolutely. Take care. Congratulations.
I'll see you next week.
Yeah, oh
I'll see you
yeah.
next week.
Yeah, every time it's one. Congratulations. We haven't made it.
Yeah. But I gotta figure out how to calm down. Thank you so much. How are you? Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Right, all that honey, all the honeydew bits, right? My man, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for coming.
You shaved your mustache?
I did, yeah. So we're doing it together. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So you got a full time?
We started out together. Yeah.
Mr. Chad.
Yeah.
We got a big open.
Yeah.
I'll retire.
I know, right? Yeah.
Good luck to you.
Thank you so much. Thank God bless you. Hey. No, it's my pleasure. Thank you for coming. Yeah. Yeah, we got it like still be over. So you just have a class next week? Hey, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Yeah, thank you. See you around.
Hey, that's the thing about life.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it as soon as those checks start rolling in. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything. Yeah, come on to the foundations. They're getting better. Yeah, they're getting better.
Good luck, though.
Thank you. Thank you. So much. I know, I keep thinking about the time you're like, hey, what happened to that thing? I didn't mean the thing I said. I was at your desk, you're like, Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Choo. Hi. It's a video. Oh, that's so cute. All right. Yeah. I love how she she was so attentive.
Things are falling off on me.
These guys are doggies breeders.
Blessing, man. Now we gotta hang out some. Oh, you're coming tonight, right?
You're welcome. Thank you.
Tom, nice to meet you.
You got an answer.
I know, right?
That's where you get the answer. Okay.
My son just went in there. What's that? That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I came out of the army.
Thank you so much for
Well, they said they had nice people, so I was like, let me go check it out.
Okay, but his twin brother, my other son, they were
Yeah.